here's some concepts that we're gonna explore into this run. And I know you said you were going to call right now, so we'll be able to get in that more in the phone call. As I'm running, I'm looking to be in one facing you. I'm trying to go from one stable foot position to another stable foot position. I'm showing you this barefoot because that's the easiest way to interpret the information, right? As my foot is moving to go from one stable foot position to another stable foot position, this is how my feet are moving. So if I was gonna start moving the treadmill, as the treadmill is moving underneath me, this is my walking gait cycle. The walking gait cycle is initiated by the heel making contact and then rolling forward of the foot. However, that's not what's happening when we're running. And these are the things we want to focus on. This is why we focus on that 180 beats a minute. My feet are going to go from that one stable foot position to another stable foot position. And as I increase in speed, the 180 steps per minute is continuous. That doesn't change at all. How the speed changes is how far I'm leaning forward. So that's what we're talking about when staying at 180 cadence. That cadence is how fast our feet are moving. And if it feels like it's impossible to keep up with our feet, I want you to think about our hip being pushed forward. We're leaning forward from the ankles. And I want you to think about counting that 180 at a rearward elbow. So if it's driving you crazy to make the footwork 180, try to make the arm swing 180, and that a lot of times goes a long way. Now, 180 is how we're running, regardless of speed. That speed is determined by lean angle. So the next thing I want to think about is that rev range. We're gonna assume, let's just go rev range, assuming that our aerobic base is 120, just to throw out a number right now. And then our lactic threshold is gonna be about 15 beats per minute advanced of that, right? So as I'm cycling through this for that 45 minutes, I wanna spend most of my time in that aerobic base, but I wanna have stints that are accelerated where I bring it up to that 15 beats per minute higher. So if we were starting at 120, we now come up to that 135, we'll hang out there for a couple minutes, and then we'll back off back to that 120. The footwork always remains the same. How far we're leaning forward is going to determine how fast we're moving. That's why so much of the stuff we program is core related, because it takes the core to be able to lean forward and not break at the hip. As soon as we lean forward here at the hip, we have broken the cycle of running, right? So we want to stand tall, we're running tall, good posture. We're leaning forward. I want to imagine that the furthest forward point is this imaginary point that's not even there. But imagine if you had a point that was like just past your belly button, right? You had a cord attached to it. You're being pulled forward. Those are the things I want to think about when I'm thinking about hip position, right? I'm leading forward with my hip. I'm in this global extension, and the arch of my body, right, is what's pushing my hip forward. I'm not leaning forward this way. I'm not breaking at the hip. Right here, forced march, hip comes forward. I start making forward momentum.